La verdad me gustaría darte una forma mágica para que puedas aprender la mayor cantidad de palabras de vocabulario para call center. Pero siendo muy honesto contigo, dándote una lista no va a ser suficiente. Porque en el primer mes, en el segundo mes, hasta un tercer mes te vas a sentir cómodo. Te vas a sentir que estás aprendiendo todo el vocabulario para call center. Pero en el largo plazo, solamente estudiar una lista de palabras vas a sentir que has perdido tu tiempo. La mejor forma de estudiar vocabulario para call center es a través del mismo contexto. Así que yo quiero que tú me acompañes a esta nueva faceta, a este nuevo podcast, a estas nuevas clases, lecciones de vocabulario para call center, donde vas a aprender el vocabulario necesario para que puedas irte preparándote para una posible entrevista en un trabajo de call center. Y bueno, lo vamos a hacer de la siguiente manera. Tú vas a escuchar una situación real o ficticia, quién sabe, de call center, donde lo vas a escuchar al menos 2 veces. La primera vez va a ser a una velocidad normal y la segunda vez va a ser a una velocidad un poco más lenta. Luego, obviamente, voy a ir explicando, voy a hacer todo lo mejor posible para que puedas entender cómo se escribe, cómo se pronuncia, qué significa cada palabra desconocida que yo creo que deberías de agregar a tu vocabulario para que te vayas preparando para esa futura entrevista de trabajo en ese call center. Mira, quiero que vayas desarrollando tus habilidades de listening. Ahí está la clave. La verdad está que si puedes mejorar tu listening, podrás conquistar el inglés. Al comienzo va a ser un poco difícil, vas a querer abandonarlo, pero te voy a dar al menos un par de consejos. Te voy a dar 5 consejos para que puedas aprovechar estas lecciones y aprender vocabulario para call center. Y este es el primer consejo. No escuches estas lecciones acostado porque, adivina qué, te vas a dormir. Es mejor que escuches estas lecciones, este podcast de vocabulario para call center cuando estés haciendo algo que no implique pensar. Por ejemplo, barrer el patio, lavar los trastes, limpiar tu cuarto, bañarte, caminar, hacer ejercicio, porque así podrás estar más activo o activa al momento de estar escuchando. Número 3. Si quieres avanzar más con tu vocabulario para call center, te animo a que compres un cuaderno y ahí anotes todas las palabras nuevas, pronunciación, cómo se escriben, anotes los ejemplos que te voy a dar en cada clase, en cada podcast. Y por último, escribe con tus propias palabras las oraciones que más tengan sentido para ti. Porque si haces esto, tu vocabulario para call center se mejorará y podrás almacenar estas palabras en tu memoria de largo plazo. Tip número 4. Al final, cada una de las lecciones, cada una de las clases, al final de esta actividad, tienes que tomar acción. Entonces, va a haber una actividad que implica tomar acción y espero que puedas hacerla. Y así de esta manera yo estaré monitoreando, estaré viendo tu progreso. El tip número 5, la repetición es la clave para mejorar tu listening. Así que te animo a que cuando vayas en el bus, cuando vayas en el carro, cuando vayas en el tren, en el barco, en la moto, en la bicicleta, en la lancha, en el jet privado que puedas tener, ponte a repasar estas lecciones. Y yo sé que me vas a decir, pero Néstor, ya las escuché, ¿por qué quieres que las vuelvas a repasar si ya las entendí? Entonces te toca hacer repeticiones. Repite todo lo que yo estoy diciendo en las lecciones porque así refuerzas tu listening y comienzas a mejorar tu speaking. So in today's call center vocabulary, we will learn hiring tips for call center representatives. Let's get started. What is going on, agents for call centers?
How may I help you?
Yeah, I bought a product from you guys and it's broken, but it's still under warranty.
Okay, I'm going to put you on hold for a moment.
What am I going to do is that I am going to read the article, but first, I am going to read the article at normal speed. Later, I am going to read the article again at slower speed. Let's check this out. Hiring tips for call center representatives. Telephone communication presents unique challenges. In face-to-face conversations, people use body language. People communicate using nonverbal cues. For call center representatives, this is impossible. Good call center candidates know how to speak clearly. They use proper volume, intonation, and stress to communicate effectively. A good candidate articulates to minimize his miscommunication. There are several things to remember during interviews. Be sure to have the candidate read aloud. Avoid hiring candidates who mumble or struggle with reading. It is helpful to interview candidates by phone. Make sure you understand everything the candidate says. This is the voice your customers will hear. Okay, that was the first part. And now I am going to read the article again, but this time I am going to do it a little bit slower in order for you to catch the words that we are going to learn today. Let's do it. Hiring tips for call center representatives. Telephone communication presents unique challenges. In face-to-face conversations, people use body language. People communicate using non-verbal cues. For call center representatives, this is impossible. Good call center candidates know how to speak clearly. They use proper volume, intonation, and stress to communicate effectively. A good candidate articulates to minimize miscommunication. There are several things to remember during interviews. Be sure to have the candidate read aloud. Avoid hiring candidates who mumble or struggle with reading. It is helpful to interview candidates by phone. Make sure you understand everything the candidate says. This is the voice your customers will hear. Now, we are going to go through today's vocabulary, and I am going to start with the first word. Let's go ahead and pay attention to the first statement. The first statement states, telephone communication presents unique challenges. And this is the first word, challenges. Let me spell it out for you. C as in Charlie, H as in hotel, A as in alpha, L as in Lima, L as in Lima again, E as in echo, N as in Nancy, G as in golf, E as in Edward, N as in Sam. Challenges. And challenges, everybody, is the following. I want you to take a look at the screen. Challenges is the plural form of challenge. And what is challenge? Challenge, it's a noun. So the meaning of challenge is something that tests strength, skills, or ability, especially in a way that is interesting. Something difficult is challenge. Challenge, for example, when you are in a difficult situation, when you are in a difficult position, you are challenged to get out of that situation. In call center industry, for example, you are going to be surrounded by challenges. You're going to have different type of challenges. Challenges in understanding the product. Challenges in understanding the service. Challenges in communicating properly with the customer, or challenges in communicating properly with your coworkers. So this is the word challenge. You need to repeat it after me. Challenge. All right? So that's the first meaning of today's vocabulary. Now, let's move it on to the second vocabulary for call center, right? The following word is miscommunication. miscommunication. And pay attention to the following line. Good call center candidates know how to speak clearly. Remember, because the customer is not looking at you, you don't have the customer in front of you, so you need to speak clearly to the customer. So you need to use the right volume, the right intonation, and stress. That's why it's super important that when you go to a call center interview, and especially the first contact is going to be through the phone, you show this. You have the right volume, you have the right intonation, and the right stress to communicate effectively. This is the first thing recruiters from call center will realize if you are capable of communicating through the phone. That's why they do the first screening. S-C-R-E-E-N. Screen, I-N-G. Screening. The first idea of what kind of candidate you are. That's the screening. Anyway, good call center candidates know how to speak clearly. They use proper volume, intonation, and stress to communicate effectively. A good candidate articulates to minimize miscommunication. That's another word that I want you to learn today. Miscommunication. This is going to be a long word, but let me spell it out for you so you can take notes in your notebooks. Miscommunication. M-I-S-C as in Charlie. O-M-M-U-N-I-C-A-T-I-O-N. Miscommunication. Let me repeat it one more time. M-I-S-C-O-M-M-U-N-I-C-A-T-I-O-N. You got it? Miscommunication. And what does it mean, miscommunication? Okay, I am going to tell you. Miscommunication, it's pretty much a failure to communicate effectively with someone. It's pretty much the lack of vocabulary that you may have when communicating with someone. It's pretty much not having the proper words, the proper ideas to communicate with someone. And when you are over the phone, that is going to be something that is going to happen to you every single moment. It's not because you want to miscommunicate with the customer, but there will be some situations where there will be a miscommunication between you and the customer, or between you and your supervisor, or between you and your peers. Why? Because perhaps we failure to communicate effectively. Okay? That's the other word I wanted you to learn today. Miscommunication. All right, next sentence. There are several things to remember during interviews. Be sure to have the candidate read aloud. Read out loud. Reading out loud. What does it mean, reading aloud? Reading aloud is when you are reading an article, when you are reading something, but you are doing not at a normal speed or a normal voice. You are doing it aloud. And why you want to do that? Because that is part of effective communication. Reading aloud is when you say something, when you read something, when you laugh about something out loud. You will speak so other people can hear what you say. Let me give you an example right now. I am not speaking to you out loud. I am speaking to you very softly and quietly. However, if I just raise my voice a little bit up, I am going to, or I am speaking out loud. Out loud. It's when you speak clearly. It's when you speak plainly English. Good. Now, that was the other word, out loud. Next line. Avoid hiring candidates who mumble or struggle with reading. It is helpful to interview candidates by phone. Let's move on with the next one. Mumble. What does it mean, mumble? I want you to take a look at mumble. Look at this. Mumble. This is going to be the word. Mumble. Listen.
Mumble.
Mumble. That's going to be the word. One more time.
Mumble.
Mumble. Now, as you can see, mumble, everybody, it's a verb. So, I mumble, you mumble, she
Mumbles.
mumbles. Again,
Mumbles.
mumbles. They mumble. It's a verb. I am mumbling. Present continuous.
Mumbling.
I mumbled. Simple past. Pay attention.
Mumbled.
Good. And what does it mean, mumble? Mumble means when you speak very, very quietly and not clearly. That's what it means. Right now, I am speaking quietly but clearly. But now, let me give you an example of speaking not clearly.
Ma, what would you like to do today, Mr. Customer? What would you like to order, Mr. What would you like to order today, Mr. Customer?
That's mumbling, everybody. When you are not speaking clearly and not out loud, or you're speaking quietly. So the sentence says, candidates who mumble or struggle. Struggle, S-T-R-U-G-G-L-E. Struggle means when something you're doing, it's really hard for you to accomplish. When something you are doing, it's really difficult for you to get it. When you are doing your best, when you are trying hard to get something, and it's very difficult for you to succeed. That is struggle. So, when a candidates who mumble or struggle with reading, it's impossible for you to get hired in a call center. That's why when you are over the phone with a recruiter, you must speak clearly. You must speak out loud. You can't speak quietly. You cannot mumble. You cannot struggle with your speaking, your reading, or any other test or quiz you're going to be assessed during your job interview process. Those are today's vocabulary, everybody. So we have challenges, miscommunication, allowed, mumble, struggle. Now, in the comments down below, something that I would like you to do is the following. Can you give me some example of miscommunication? What's the main idea? You type down in the box comment, what is an example for you of miscommunication? I want you to do this. I want you to use the word miscommunication in a sentence. Write your sentence in the comments down below. I will be reading your sentences and I will be giving you feedback on your performance, on how you actually wrote the sentence using the word miscommunication. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you have learned as much as I did during today's first lesson. Remember, this was hiring tips for call center representatives. Have a good one, future agents for call center. See you next time.